is invader. The self's inability to recognize what is self and what is not self. I mean, really, that's what these autoimmune diseases are. The more we practice things like yoga, not only does, of course, the body become fit and in shape and flexible, but we bring the whole system back into balance. That's the difference between a practice of yoga and a practice, for example, of aerobics or just stretching or some other exercise, is yoga really brings balance to the body, to the mind, and to the spirit. And you've asked about meditation as well. Puja Swamiji always says that meditation, it's one of his favorite lines, that meditation is the best medication for all your agitations. And what meditation really does is it reconnects us. These days, the stress, the tension that we have living in the world is caused because we feel so alone. It's all up to me. It's all on my shoulders. If I don't fight for myself and take care of myself, no one will. The practice of meditation connects us deep within ourselves to that place, to that core of our being, which is divine, because it's part of that only God. And because it's divine, it's a place of constant and stable peace, joy, stillness, harmony, light, love. So the more we practice meditation and the more we can go down deep into that place, the more that becomes our nature. And the more then we're able to share that in the world. And one other important aspect of meditation is that it expands our consciousness. If you sit in meditation, one of the very first things that I experienced in meditation, and I think that many others have, is a dissolving of the boundaries. So as you sit, one of the very first things that happens to us is that line between my leg ends and the chair begins, or my hand ends and the table begins, starts to dissolve. Those borders and boundaries start to become very, very fuzzy, very permeable. And as that border dissolves, so does the border between me and the rest of the planet, me and you, and me and everybody else with whom I share the earth. And that's probably the most important thing needed today.
Absolutely. So is there a simple tip or a few that you could give to people watching with meditation that maybe are new to meditation, something that they could start to practice today?
Sure. The first thing I want to say, though, is there's no wrong way to meditate. So many people come to our ashram and they'll say, I think I'm doing it wrong. I don't think I'm doing it right. It's not working. What's important to remember about meditation, and then I will give a simple point or two about it, but is that meditation is not showing us something that didn't exist before. It's not turning us into something that didn't exist before. It's not bringing something from outside to the inside. What it's doing is almost like peeling the layers of an onion. That which we are looking to attain in meditation is actually our true nature. The problem is that on top of that true nature, we have piled all kinds of things like anger and pain and grudges and jealousy and competition and desires and ego and fear and confusion. And we've piled and piled this on top of us so much that when we access that true core of our being, we feel as though it's actually come from outside. So we say things like, I've changed. No, you haven't changed. All you've done is shed that which is not self, that which is not you. So what meditation really does is enable us to get back to that which is real. So it's not about fireworks. It's not about jerking movements of the body. Yes, of course, there are times in meditation and in meditation practice in which all sorts of different things can happen. that's not what we're looking for necessarily. That's not what it's about. What it's about is getting in touch with yourself. And so the easiest and the simplest way to do it has nothing to do with what religion you are or what form of the divine you worship, is just to simply close your eyes. And almost as though, if you can imagine a piece of Velcro separating from another piece of Velcro. As we breathe, when we teach meditation in the beginning, we always focus on the breath. As we focus on the breath, it does two things. One is it serves as this Velcro. It pulls us away from this attachment we have to the outside world, this attachment to who I think I am, to my role, my facades, my masks, my attachments, my desires, my stresses, my tension. And it pulls us away from that, leaving that behind, and it allows us to go deeply down within. So as we focus on the breath, it gets us in touch with really the very most basic aspect of who we are. So as you close your eyes and as you bring the awareness to the breath, as much as possible, try to let the outside world dissolve and disappear. Allow it to fade. You can even tell yourself, don't worry, I'll come back to you. It's not I'm ignoring you forever. It's not I'm relinquishing you. I'll come back to you. But just for 5 or 10 or 15 minutes, I'm just going to leave you aside temporarily and to focus on the breath. And as we bring the awareness completely on the breath and to the point where we literally become one with the breath as it flows in and as it flows out, what it does is it takes us back in touch with that most basic, fundamental, central aspect of ourselves. And it brings us to that point within ourselves, that core point, which is stillness. I mean, if you sat here and you focused just on the breath, within just a few minutes, you'd find a level of stillness and of peace and of quiet. And suddenly that which was a crisis 10 minutes ago or an hour ago, suddenly you're able to breathe through it and you're able to maintain that stillness. The other thing the focus on the breath does is it brings us into acute awareness of our relationship with the world. That which I'm breathing in has been produced by something other than myself. That which I'm expelling will be taken in by something other than myself. And so it also brings us into this great, profound awareness of the exchange and the cycle and the oneness between us and the rest of the universe. So I think probably for beginners really looking for a non-religious, non-complex aspect would be to close the eyes, to focus on the breath. As we exhale, to sink deeper and deeper and deeper, and to release and let go and relinquish more and more as we exhale it. And then we rest in that place, that central core place within ourselves.
Thank you. And thank you so much for sharing that with us today. And I'd love to ask you to leave, if you could just share a closing message for everyone watching, that would be beautiful.
I think the most important message that I can think of on the spot for the viewers in the world today is another beautiful quotation. Swamiji gave a beautiful quotation from Mahatma Gandhi, and another beautiful quotation that he said is, what's the point of speeding if we're going in the wrong direction? And what's so beautiful about that message is today we're rushing, we're running, we're striving to achieve, to obtain, to grab, to hold. And yet once we've achieved it and obtained it and attained it, we realize, oh wait, this isn't what I thought I was looking for. I was actually reaching for happiness, for peace, for meaning, for fulfillment. And what I've ended up with is a degree or a big house or a car or a bank account. And I thought that through these things, that happiness and joy and peace that I was looking for would come. But it hasn't. And so rather than realizing, oh, I've been striving for the wrong things, we say, oh, I must just need more. Let me reach for more, let me grab more, let me try to attain more. And I think the most important message is to say that that which we're looking for, there's nothing wrong with the luxury, it's great, but it's a bonus. It's a bonus of convenience and comfort and efficiency, but it's not where we're going to find that which we're looking for, which is fulfillment and joy and peace and meaning and connection. And that only comes from a spiritual path. And of course, it doesn't matter what your religion is. It doesn't matter whether you worship God in the form of Christ or Krishna or Allah or Adonai or the tree in your backyard or your mother. Really, as long as there is a sense in your life that it's not all about me, that it's about something much bigger and much deeper and much more profound, and I'm here being blessed and being gifted to be allowed to be a part of this, to swim in this divine ocean. But I also have a role to play, and the role isn't to drink up as much of the ocean as I possibly can. The role is to give back so that others can live and can swim and can thrive and in this same ocean that we share.
Thank you. Mm.